It's rather ironical that the solution to the 340 cipher should come from two comic books. I suppose this was Zodiac's biggest joke of all. We have the Dick Tracy comic book on the 13-hole postcard and the Tim Holt comic book discovered by Tahoe 27 in relation to the Halloween card. Both these comic books featured in the October of 1970 and both contained an overlay giving us the solution to the 340 cipher. Here is Dave Aranchak's excellent Cipher Explorer. You can see that you can place paradise and slaves exactly bisecting the cipher vertically and horizontally. 17 by 17. See, that is, the two dashes are S's. That's the end of paradise, and that is the E, and that's A, R, A, D, and that's the L, and that's the V, forming paradise and slaves. Now, this clue was given to us in the 13-hole postcard. Here, you've got the Dick Tracy decoder. The magic decoder was an integral part of American advertisements in the 1950s, encouraging children to eat their breakfast cereals while also capturing their interest in rudimentary code breaking. These were placed in post-sugar crisp, raisin bran and sugar rice crinkles. Now here, that's the red decoder with punch holes in its face. You punch out the white holes to decode answers to the red Crime Stopper messages on the package. Right, now the 13-hole postcard was a pasted message on October the 5th, 1970. All this wording was pasted onto the card, as was this paper red cross. That's your red decoder. He gave us 13 holes, which when configured over the red decoder, and it was placed onto the 340 cipher, it spelt the word paradise and slaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It would reveal a message. Now obviously this message wasn't understood. So 22 days later, on October the 27th, he gave us the Halloween card. And just to elaborate before I move on, that was the grid of letters where the decoder would be placed over. That would be placed over here to reveal the message. The same as he did with the 13-hole postcard. You put those holes over that and you place it over this grid of letters to reveal paradise and slaves. Now this clearly hadn't been understood by the people looking at the 13-hole postcard. So, like I said, a bit later he gave us paradise and slaves in the Halloween card. He actually spelt it out for us and put by fire, gun, rope and knife in each quadrant. This was discovered by Tahoe, as I already explained, in the Tim Holt comic book. Before it was the Dick Tracy comic book displayed in the serials. Now it's the Tim Holt comic book. You can see the by gun, by knife, by rope, by fire placed in the quadrants here. Now when you go back to there, you can find by in all 4 quadrants, and you can find fire, gun, rope and knife in all 4 quadrants, exactly like the 13-hole postcard. Now, where is the second overlay? The first overlay was the 13 punch holes in the 13-hole postcard. Where is the second overlay? Here on the envelope of the Halloween card, he gave us sorry, no cipher. Now, why would he tell us there was no cipher in the Halloween card when it was blatantly obvious? And why wouldn't he just write sorry, no cipher? He shaped it in the form of a cross. Exactly like the cross here. Exactly like the cross here. Exactly like the cross here. When you take the sorry no cipher and place it over here, What he's actually saying is Paradise and Slaves is not a cipher. It's actually just an overlay. The overlay discovered here on the 340 cipher. This was Zodiac's biggest joke of all from 2 comic books.